Canadiens are proud to select Cayden Primeau.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the CURFEWBOYS podcast. I guess we're going to call this the family edition. Myself, Sammy, with my cousin Chris. Hey now. How you doing?
Not bad, you?
Not too bad. I'm a little tired. It's been a hectic 2 weekends being involved in a holiday Christmas market in our local town of Hudson. Arranged, organized, and orchestrated by my better half and her sister. So there for support. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun, but it's pretty exhausting, but fun nonetheless.
One more to go.
One more weekend to go. Yeah, so
I have to get out there. I have to try to get out there for the third and final weekend of the Christmas or the holiday festival.
Yeah.
In Hudson. A lot of foot traffic, a lot of people going through, a lot of local businesses selling some unique and pretty cool things.
Yeah, it's lots of fun. It's good. It's good for the community. It's good for local businesses as well. Hey, listen, to any of our listeners that are, if they're in the Montreal area or they live out in the Vaudreuil area on the western side of the western side of the island of Montreal, hey man, you can make your way down Saturday, Sunday from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. in the town of Hudson, and yeah, it's little fun activities to do just as the holidays start kicking in. We're already in the month of December. Can you believe it? Like, geez, I have no idea where the heck time flew by. But anyhow, the Curfew Boys, we're here on YouTube. Please click like and subscribe. All episodes available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and we are very active on Twitter and Instagram on the social media platforms. Here to talk about our dear, beloved Montreal Canadiens through thick and thin. Back-to-back games, Saturday, Sunday, afternoon games, actually, which is not something that's rare, but you know, it doesn't happen quite often. Started in New York, I guess Saturday, what was it, Saturday afternoon at around 1 p.m. Eastern time. The Canadiens facing the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden. That was a heartbreaker. Final score 4-3. That was a heartbreaker because I think everybody under the sun felt and knew that the Canadiens deserved a better fate, a better destiny. They deserved the win. And, you know, they did all the right things. They pushed hard against the Rangers. And I know the Rangers right now are having a tough go. There's like rumors coming out that all NHL teams out there got a memo that Trouba and Kreider are on the trading block. So that's like, when I first heard that, I actually got shocked because I really thought the Rangers. I put the Rangers as cup contenders this year and probably favorites to go to the Stanley Cup Finals, but you know, now there's rumors going around that there's trouble in the locker room, there's division in the locker room, blah 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 blah. Anyways, despite all of that, you know, I went into this game thinking like it's the New York Rangers. Like, despite them, I think they were 0-5 before playing the Canadiens. Like, they're still the Rangers, and I really thought the Canadiens did a good job to keep up with them. Mike Matheson came back, and I thought he had an extraordinary game. We're going to talk a lot about Mike Matheson on this episode, guaranteed. I feel for Kirby Dach, man. I feel for him. I felt so bad for him taking a 4-minute high-sticking penalty towards the end of the game. The Rangers score with it was like 23 seconds left. Yep. I felt for him. I really, really did, because he had a very good game. You know, he was active, he was involved. Well, I don't recall him getting that many scoring chances, but you know, he was involved. He wasn't hiding. He played with effort. He got the message. Fuck, man. Wow. Did some fans go after him on Twitter, and apparently he turned off the comments on his Instagram account too, Apparently, it was that bad. Like fans were ripping into him. I feel bad for him, man. That's all he needs to fucking just shoot his confidence down and bury it 6 feet under. I feel bad for him, man. But like, there's something. I think we've realized more than ever. Like, we really got to be patient with Dach, because when you don't play a full season, you got a MCL and ACL injury. I don't. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's definitely for me. I think Kirby Dach just has zero confidence right now, like absolute zilch. And I think us as fans, like, we need to stand behind this guy more than ever.
We absolutely do need to stand behind him, but like he didn't have such a bad game
He
yesterday.
didn't.
That's
No,
number one.
no.
And number two, it's a high sticking penalty at a terrible time, fine, but number like number one, eh, the guy's bleeding. 4 minutes. It's four.
Yeah,
It's just horrible timing and horrible luck. Luck.
yeah. That's
It's
what it
not a
was.
lack.
Bad
It's
luck.
not a lack of
It
effort.
wasn't. It wasn't a lazy. You know how a lot of these high sticking penalties are lazy penalties because the guy got beat and he's like just trying to reach. No, it was advantage. I was right next to him. He was just trying to stick lift him to get the puck off him, and he missed.
Exactly that. So Kirby, like we keep saying, got to be patient with these guys coming back from major surgeries and procedures and other things because they're just
Mm-hmm.
not themselves.
Yeah,
And again, to those who are calling for his head to be or pardon me for his ass to be traded out of town.
yeah. There's that
Trust
too.
me, that's going to be one of the biggest mistakes. That's going to be another Sergachev type
Mm-hmm.
thing. Oh, we had this guy and we traded him. Do
Mm-hmm.
not trade him. He was I think it was a steal that we got him. Just a series of bad luck between injuries. He comes back. He's not himself. He's put himself into some tough positions. Yeah, okay, fine. He hasn't always been skating as hard as he could have been. But I think last night, yesterday was pure bad luck. Cut
Mm-hmm.
the kid some slack. Be patient. Let's not trade out. Let's not trade away one of our young top tier talents on the team. That's going to be, whether you like it or not, he's going
Yeah,
to be a leader within this organization for the years to come. Please, please, let's not, as a fan base, let's not encourage this guy to be walking up to the head office of both Kent Hughes and Jeff Gorton asking for a trade because we're that
yeah,
ridiculous at
yeah,
times as a fan base.
yeah. Don't. I hope to God he doesn't get run out of town because of just, yeah, because of maybe certain members of this fan base. But let's be honest here. Against the Rangers, I hate going after the referees, and I hate using the referees as an excuse. But Jesus Christ, they were god fucking awful.
Absolutely brutal.
That they were awful. That penalty, I don't understand that penalty against Josh Anderson when he finished his check, calling it for roughing. Like, are you kidding me? In front, like
It was
that was terrible. And then Armia gets hooked and tripped on the penalty kill within that final minute, right in front of the ref, no call. The Rangers come back, they score that goal. Personally, I loved Marty's reaction in his post game presser. I loved it. Like, talk about sending a message without going John Tortorella on their asses. Like, for those,
honestly.
I'm sure all of Habs fans have seen it. It's both in English and French. I loved our game tonight. I'm not going to talk about the refs. Hey, what did you think of what did you think of Cole Caulfield, who I want to talk about later? Oh, what did you think of? Oh yeah, I love this game, but I'm not going to talk about the refs tonight. All right. Hey, Martin, vous avez quand même vous avez bien joué. Ah ouais, on a bien joué. Aucun commentaire sur les arbitres, ça soir. That's as far as my French accent goes. But listen, talk about sending a message without saying the message. To me, I thought it was brilliant.
Well, there was also, don't get me wrong, when the rough stuff started to happen, and then magically we got all sorts of penalties too. Like
Yeah,
you, like
like
how
Slav.
does that power play end up going to the Rangers? Like again, that's just another example of the ridiculousness of the refing yesterday. And you know what? Like
Mm-hmm.
credit to the Montreal Canadiens. They fought back. They got
Oh, they
back in the
did.
game. It was
Oh yeah.
there's another element too. It was uncharacteristic of their penalty kill to allow that many goals in a
Yep.
given game. So, in all honesty, if their penalty kill was a little bit more as it has been,
Yeah.
and the refing was maybe a little bit more fair in the first place, you know, Canadians maybe even win that game in regulation. So,
Well,
you know,
yeah.
there's a significant silver lining in yesterday's game. It's just frustrating as a fan. And the one thing that, you know, you said it before, Montreal Montreal is going to playing the Rangers, and the Rangers are 0-5. Why is it always that our team has to be the stat breaking in the negative,
Oh,
way? We're not the ones
because
that
it's
can
us.
continue
It's
the
because
trend.
it's
Why is
us.
it that?
No, to me, what really not that what killed this team off, but like these, it's a common thread between the Rangers game and the Bruins game. It's allowing either these last minute goals, like those last minute goals are such momentum killers. And when I'm not saying like Vincent Trocheck, he scored. When did he score? He scored. There was 4 seconds left in the first period, and yeah, credit to the Canadiens, they did fight back. But you remove that goal, it's for me, in my opinion, I think it's a completely different game. You take away that last second goal, who knows what could have happened. But like you said, good on the Canadiens for fighting back. Like Suzuki and Caulfield, like they decided to take the reins. I thought Slavkovsky had a pretty good game too. That tying goal of Suzuki with that these tic tac toe plays with Caulfield to Lane Hudson to Suzuki, I thought
Beautiful.
was brilliant. It was brilliant, and they had momentum. The Rangers did not outplay the Canadiens this game, and you know what? I will say this as I'll probably be jumping into the game against the Bruins right away, but like the trend that I saw this weekend for the Canadiens is that both teams didn't get outplayed. Like in terms of like getting physically dominated, getting outshot, not
No, what's
not
hold up?
not not creating scoring chances. I thought the Canadians were even against I know we're going to talk about the Bruins game too because it's a brutal one, but look, against the Rangers, I truly believe the Rangers did not outplay us. And when we really delve deep into the game against the Bruins Sunday afternoon, again, there's a lot of things I saw in that game that's like the Bruins did not outplay us. Go ahead and
They
say what you think, but like
I just I cut in because there was one thing in particular. I think the Canadians, for the past two games at the very least, have been more effective physically. They've been the more dominant team physically.
mm-hmm.
I thought they were out hitting. I thought, and this is going to be crazy to say, but I thought the Canadians were intimidating to play against the
Yeah,
past two games.
well, 23 hit against the Rangers, 23 hits versus 22. So like it was pretty much even, but
It's the nature, but it's the
yeah.
nature of the hits and the nature of like Josh Anderson had a crazy fight against
Oh
Trouba.
my
That was
god,
a
he got him
beautiful,
good.
beautiful. Yeah, he
He
got him
I
good, and it was like you have fans from around the league saying, "Thank you, Josh Anderson. We can't stand this
well,
guy. He got our guy with a
well,
high hit,
well,
something
that's
like
it.
that." So
It's a mixture of Jacob Trouba trying to wake up his teammates as a captain. So good on Jacob Trouba, and it's Josh Anderson being like, "Hey, listen, yeah, whatever. The league deemed your hit on Justin Barron clean. You look at replays, yeah, okay, it was a fine line." And Jacob Trouba, he reaches that fine line, but like I love the physical aspect of hockey. I love those body checks. And when you get those clean hits, body to body, shoulder to the chest area, but sometimes the head's going to get hit. Hey, that's clean. That's what ended up happening in the end against Justin Barron, but on different angles, it didn't look clean. Anyways, good on Josh Anderson for, hey, he sent that message being like, look, we didn't forget, and you're going to pay the piper. Good on Jacob Trouba for answering the bell too, and at the same time sending a message to his teammates. He's a captain. That's what they do. So actually, good on both of them. Absolutely. I have no problem saying that. Good on Jacob Trouba. Good on Josh Anderson. It was a great tilt. Like, The guys on the Spitting Chicklets fucking loved it too. And yeah, it was awesome. It was great. That's hockey, man. That's hockey. That's what we love to see. It belongs in the game. And I'm not opening that can of worms. It belongs in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to mention it because I thought that Josh Anderson has also been stepping up significantly. I'm not saying that he's been potting all sorts of goals, but I think Josh Anderson has been much more present and visible in a
You
lot
know
of the
why?
more recent games.
You want me to tell you why I think that? There's no pressure of him being one of the best players on this team anymore.
Absolutely.
There's no pressure of him being a top 6. Dude, him on the penalty kill? Like, where has this been since he's been here? He's so good on the penalty kill. Like, he's not perfect, but like, my God, they found something for him when it comes to special teams.
But there's one thing about Josh Anderson that I miss from when you saw his highlights coming from Columbus and his first seasons here in Montreal.
Yeah. I know
Missing
what
a
you
little
mean.
bit of that Eric Cole touch to really drive the net. I find he's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
circling around a lot rather than driving directly to.
Yeah,
And I
he's
think if
got
he
the
could do
body
that
for
a
it.
little
Yeah.
bit more, the guy would get rewarded that much more often, if I could say it as
Probably.
such. But
Yeah, probably. I think, you know what I think it could be too regarding Josh Anderson? I think he's accepted what his role is right now with this team, where they're going in the rebuild. And I think because he's accepted that, hopefully could be in a positive way. It's like he's more free to just go out and play without having to think. Last season, he was in his head, and basically what was happening last season to Josh Anderson is now happening to Kirby Dach. They're stuck in their own head, and it's like nothing's working for me. No matter what I do, no matter how hard I try, just nothing seems to fucking work. And
but here's where I'm going to debate you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Kirby Dach. Kirby Dach should be in his own head.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Anderson shouldn't. I think Josh Anderson got to a point this year where he's accepted, okay, I'm not that 30 goal scorer. I might not even be that 15 goal scorer, but I'm going to be a physical presence. I'm going to be hard checking.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there to fight and protect my teammates when I need to be. And it's kind of a full shift in his role.
Yeah.
And
1,000%.
when we think about Kirby Dach, that's where my disagreement comes in. And I'm not saying that you're not saying the exact same thing, but Kirby Dach has to get back to that.
Yeah,
I'm here to put up points. I'm here to
no,
assist and score.
1,000%. But what I meant is last year, I think Josh Anderson probably, to me, it comes back to the lack of confidence. It's just there's no confidence, and there is effort. We could debate if on certain games Kirby Dach could have shown maybe a bit more effort on the ice, but I thought recently he's been doing better compared to other games. But what I meant is that like just when you're stuck in your own head thinking that like nothing's working for me, and then you dig yourself a fucking rut that doesn't seem possible to get out of. Like Josh Anderson is finally out of that rut, and again, we're going to reiterate that like he's accepted this role, third line grinder, penalty killer. Whereas Kirby Dach was brought in here to be part of the core and the top 6. He was brought here to be a second line center. That's not working out right now. And not only that, he's not putting up points anymore, like he kind of was at the beginning of the season. He's not scoring goals. When the Kirby Dach we saw when he first came here, he was very confident. He had a bit of that tiny little bit of arrogance in him, like especially after winning it in Chicago. And it's like I can't like he had a bit of that. He had a call it arrogance, call it confidence, call it swag, but he had it. He had the it factor. Last year he was supposed to look. We all know he was supposed to go to the next step. That just ruined all the plans, and I think he's paying the price for it now. Do I still believe Kirby Dach can turn this around? Yes. I think it's going to be, though, after Christmas or after the holidays, maybe in January. I say by mid-January, maybe. And I'm hoping Kirby Dach could do what Slafkovsky did last year. Like, he was not nowhere to be seen, but like wasn't as productive in the first couple of months of the season. Then after the holidays, like, boom, he exploded. The only difference with Slafkovsky is he was put on a line with Cole and Suzuki. And, we could debate about that too now if we want. Here's what I'm thinking. Patrick Laine is almost back. I would not be surprised if Patrick Laine plays on Tuesday. They come on back at the Bell Center against the Islanders. I won't be surprised if he's playing. And I hope he's put on a line with Kirby Dach. I hope Marty puts the two of them together. I know you called it. I know you said it. That's what you want to see.
I did say something similar, but I'm going to go a step further. I would absolutely love to see a line of Slafkovsky, Dach, and Patrick Laine, three guys whose confidence.
Yeah, I would like that.
It's going to be hot potato. Like, no, I'm not feeling so good with the puck. Myself neither. Okay, I'm going to pass the puck. Next thing you know, you have these great passing plays. I know that's hopeful and wishful thinking.
Yeah, for sure. But
it's just
maybe
you never know.
No, you don't.
It could be a good recipe, and we didn't even get the chance to see Dach and Slafkovsky together. So I'd be very curious.
Well, they were together. They were Suzuki's line mates. Remember when they put Caulfield with Evans and Newhook, and it kind of worked. Like the scoring percentages or the scoring chances of those top two lines got better that after they split them. But it's so obvious. It's so obvious.
But that's it, Sam. That's like Cole and
Suzuki. It's so obvious.
Separated.
No, they're not. They're not.
Separated. And
you can't.
I'm very confident in saying that I'd be more curious in seeing Demidov with Suzuki and Caulfield when he's finally here. Exactly.
Jeez.
And I'd love
get him here now.
Well,
anyways,
I'd really love to see the chemistry develop between Slafkovsky and Dach, with Dach as a centerman.
Yeah,
and that's where again I do very much see Patrick Laine being a beautiful fit with those two guys and a good leader and a good Again, you look at Dach and you look at Slafkovsky, two very highly talented players on a line with a guy who's extremely talented, has proven himself in the league, but who has also faced mental, difficulties,
and injuries,
challenges, and so on. So I look, that's my wishful thinking. That's my hope for the Canadiens. I would really, really, really love to see that when Patrick Laine comes back. Who knows, Marty, if you're listening.
Well, to me, it's because I like Alex Newhook. I think he's an excellent teammate. He's a good skater, but I find he's too much of a peripheral player to be on the top line with Suzuki and Caulfield. So
you don't find he's getting a little. I'm not.
No, he's not. He's not terrible.
Find that he's fitting in just a little bit more every single game.
Yeah, slowly, but him too. It's. Like, and even against his Boston game, there's times where it's everybody's just overthinking. When you start thinking, that means you're late on your reactions, and when you're late on your reactions, you're going to make a mistake. And listen, I defend Mike Matheson a lot. This was not a good game of his. Mike Matheson did not have a good game against the Boston Bruins. Sunday afternoon. Now the Canadiens. Final score 6-3. Mike Matheson did not have a good game, but what I liked about Mike Matheson is that he owned up to it. He owned up to his mistakes. He owned up to it in the face of the media. Owned up to it to his teammates, and you know what? It's a learning lesson, and I think he's look. He had a great game against the Rangers. Overthought way too many times against the Bruins, and at least costed two goals that I can really think of. That one on the power play, I still believe it happened so fast. And you look at the replay, if you look at the replay from center ice-ish angle, Matheson's going with the puck, but you see players suddenly split. And I think it's because they all thought he had possession of it, which he didn't. So it's one of those, what happened first, the chicken or the egg? It's one of those things, but it's unfortunately, it was off of his stick, and he made that pass. He basically got the assist to Charlie McAvoy, who had a fantastic game. Charlie McAvoy is one of those defensemen that I wish the Canadians can like get at their hands on. Not Charlie McAvoy per se, but
we have
but
we
but
have our left-handed Charlie McAvoy. His name is Cayden Primeau,
uh,
with maybe a little bit less of a goal scoring threat.
I love Cayden Primeau. I really really do. I think Charlie McAvoy is a notch above him.
He's a notch above, but I just think that, you know what? Let's not even go there. Cayden Primeau is just going to
no,
end up
we
playing
love.
for the
He's a
Canadiens. That's
beast.
it.
He's a beast. Cayden Gouli's a beast. If he stays healthy, man, when he turns like 25, 26 in prime physical shape, like yeah, he's gonna be a beast.
Yeah.
And
Can
yeah,
I say
go ahead.
something with regard before we move on?
Yeah.
Mike Matheson.
Yeah.
You were there in the conversation. I was
Yeah.
screaming. I was losing my mind. It wasn't 2 goals.
Yeah.
It was 3 goals, and 2 of those goals happened within the span of like 25 seconds or less of one
Yeah.
another. Mike Matheson coming back from an injury. I will go a step further. Mike Matheson, dream human being, dream teammate.
Yes.
Nightmare fucking game. Nightmare
Yeah, it was
game.
awful. Yeah,
So it was
well, he said it. It's
absolutely awful.
Yeah, he said it was probably one of the worst games I've ever played. Like he said it. He said it in French. And he's owning up to it, which is great. But now it's like, okay, good on you for owning up to it. That's what leaders do. You move on from it and try your best not to make those same type of fucking mental errors. And I'm going to go back to what I said earlier is that the Bruins did not outplay the Canadiens. And that's what fucking pissed me off
Not at all.
the most.
There's,
the Bruins
there's
did
one
not.
There's one player more than Mike Matheson, I think, that that can be tossed into the frustration mix.
Where I'm going to get to him. But again, this is the same thing like fucking Vegas. It's just 2-3 mental errors, one after the other within 2 to 3 minutes of each other. And that's what fucking kills you. And I'm going to go a step further. The Rangers game, it was 2 goals within the last minute of periods of this first and then the third to win it. This game, it was within the opening minute of the period. The second, the Mike Matheson's giveaway on the power play, and then in the third, you take away those 2 goals, we have a completely different game. We maybe go into overtime, and then we see what happens there. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah, okay. Take away the empty net goal. The final score is 6-3. Take away the empty net goal. You take away those 2 goals, it's a tie game.
Yeah,
It's
like today's game could have been significantly closer. There were a bunch of mental lapses, like those 2 goals in 30 seconds or less. They were brutal.
Yeah,
like game over.
Awful.
It was
Awful.
game over basically right at that moment because again they were just not there. Like, oh shit, we just let in the second goal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we just let in the third goal. It's done. It's basically and credit to who? Suzuki and Caulfield.
My goodness.
I thought Suzuki had one of his best games in a while, and I mean that's saying something.
He's staying
because
consistent.
Suzuki has been playing fairly well.
He's been consistent. Yes, he's been consistent.
Caulfield the whole freaking season.
Is this year the year he cracks 30? He's already at number 16.
He's up. He's gonna hit 40. I'm
you think he's gonna hit 40? I hope so, man. I hope you're right. I would love to see him hit 40. Even if he hits like, dude, he's already at 16. Like he's my goodness. He's gonna hit
the league leaders. Where is he right now? He's probably in.
I saw the stats.
Third
Here, stand by. I'll go get.
I'm gonna see if I could beat you. No, he's tied in third.
Yes, exactly.
Stan
Yes.
Reinhart with 18, Leon Draisaitl with 17, Cole Caulfield.
Yeah, Caulfield and Braden Point at 16. That's correct. Yeah, which is amazing, and that's the Cole Caulfield they drafted. And he's young. He's still young. He's 23 years old.
Okay, but let's have this discussion then. Before we dive back into shit, let's focus on this ray of sunshine. Cole Caulfield. Cole Caulfield, man, he got injured. His shooting was off. He had a rough season. What I think a lot of people would consider a rough season. I don't personally like. I mean, I don't know why I take it personally, but as a Habs fan, it's frustrating to hear he's the best 40 goal scorer, 50 goal scorer that never was. Like, it was a
It's like,
question of
bro,
time, and that's the thing.
he's
Like,
he's in year
these are
4 of his
growing
career.
pains. Fans, these are growing pains. There are going to be injuries. There are going to be setbacks. There are going to be learning curves for other elements of the game that he might have not developed, like his defensive game. That was a huge learning point last season. He
Hmm.
became a more complete player.
Yeah.
So Cole Caulfield is finally coming into his own, having mastered and learned some hard lessons and having mastered some of the basics from his side.
Hmm.
So this is what patience buys you, fans.
You
Just wait for some of
well,
these players.
a lot of those comments about like he's the best 40 goal scorer, 50 goal scorer that never was, whatever. A lot of those come from like Ottawa Senators fans and Toronto Maple Leafs fans, so they can like piss off for all I care. To me, Cole Caulfield turned his career around after he got sent down to Laval.
Oh yeah.
And we could argue, oh well, because Marty came in and then Cole took over, blah blah. Yeah, true, but like no matter what, it was up to Cole to turn his game around, and no, not a coach, not Marty, not Dominic Ducharme. Remember him? It was up to Cole, and
Trying to forget, man.
you know who else turned his career around after getting set down to the Laval Rocket? Arbor Jacka.
Armia, for sure.
Sure. Okay, we could say. I'm talking about the younger guys that, well, yeah, Yoel Armia, like, I think teams will look into him for special teams that so they can go deep or at least try to have a deep playoff run. Somebody's going to be interested in him. At what price? I don't know. Is Kent Hughes going to try to get a king's ransom out of them? Probably. If he's able to pull it off, it's probably another one of his genius moves that he could do. But yes, I'm talking about Arbor Jacki, and he's been the most consistent defenseman since.
Fucking right, Arbor.
So
Way to go.
So this year, since he got that healthy scratch for those 2-3 games in a row, he's been getting better and better. And again, I said this from the beginning. Arbor Jacki, how many? I'm going to check. I have the stats here. How many minutes did he play? Hold on, 2 seconds.
While you look that up,
Yeah, I got it right here. I got it right here. Arbor, 14 minutes and 3 seconds. I've always said this. Arbor Jacki, you give him between 14 and like 16, 17 minutes max of ice time, and you'll get the best out of him. That's what he is. And when you give him those limited minutes, he plays a simple game. That's what he's been doing, and that's why he's staying in the lineup, and it's working. And look, he's picking his moments, when to drop the gloves. He's not afraid to get in anybody's fucking face. Don't give me that shit. And listen, he's the reason, like, we all thought he scored that goal when he rushed to net, and it was a perfect. That's textbook hockey for a skater with a big body size like he has. Fucking get the shoulder down. You protect the puck with everything you got, and you drive the net. Yeah, okay, he didn't drive the net, but he still got close enough to the net where he just had to put the puck on net. And good on Cole Caulfield for fucking scoring a Brendan Gallagher style goal instead of fucking sniping it like he usually does. Sometimes that's what you have to do. And it was that play right there was perfect. Perfect. That's how you score goals. It's little plays like that. It was perfect. It was perfect.
Also, too, just to add to Arbor Jacki, I think this was one of his first games playing against the Bruins. He was either injured or out of lineup for. It's not his first, but it was one of his first. I believe it was a second game in the last 3 seasons that he was playing against the Bruins. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
I might be off, but he was either in Laval or he had his shoulder injury, so he hadn't played. But we go against a little bit of a. I don't know if we could even call the Bruins a tougher team, but Arbor kept every last one of those guys in line the whole game, the whole freaking game. He is. He's still young. He's still gonna make more mistakes. Mark my words. He he clipped a ref tonight. Our linesman tonight.
Oh my
swinging
God.
at Trent Frederick. But nevertheless,
I would have loved to have.
nevertheless,
Go.
He's just he's a presence.
Yeah,
He's
he is.
such a
He is.
presence out there,
Oh, he
and
is.
his teammates have to love him.
Oh, they
We
do.
all love him. But
They do.
Like, it's impossible not to love a
He's
teammate
picking it
like that.
and he's picking his moments too. Like he's not he doesn't have to make a name for himself anymore. He's made the name. He has the reputation now. He doesn't have to drop the gloves all the time. Okay, and I love Jack Eye. Obviously, I still think Mathieu Olivier from Columbus is.
Oh man,
He's the
I
tough
wish.
guy.
I wish.
He's the tough
Ken,
guy.
on the Christmas list of the wish list, like straight to.
Mathieu Olivier, right now, he's in my books. He's the reigning champion. Not Ryan Reeves, not Nicolas Delorier, who I respect too. Mathieu Olivier. Hey man, props, man. Respect, respect.
That guy is Quebecois Rocky. He just keeps
Dude,
getting like smashed straight to the face, and he
well, it
keeps
was like
getting
what,
up.
two fights? It was two fights against Calgary, and I saw a highlight of one of them, dude. I don't know how many punches the Calgary player landed on Olivier. He doesn't move. He doesn't nudge. Like
you
Jack,
clip
like
of Ivan Drago's like
pretty much.
"He's
I will
not
crush.
human."
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think Arbor Jackie's afraid to fight Olivier, but he knows that like I don't know if I'm gonna win this one.
Yeah,
Like he said himself, he said himself, like no matter how many times I land a punch on him, he doesn't move. Like
well, let's not jump too much into fighting, but Mathieu Olivier has clearly, I don't want to say mastered the art, but if he's one of the toughest, if not the toughest guy in the league right now, which is a fair statement.
And he's
I
scoring
think he's
goals
up there
too.
with Delorier, Reeves, and like you said,
Yeah, of course.
reasonably past those two. He's obviously mastered. I don't even know if I could say he's mastered the art of protecting himself, because, like you said, he's getting shots to the face, to the jaw, to the side of the head, and he's just like he just stays
okay.
up. So
It's like I don't even think he like moves. He's just like okay. Like it just goes after him after. There's a serious question now. What do the Canadians do with Cayden Primeau? What I feel for him too, man. I really, really do. And unfortunately, we're in the business of winning, and we're in the business of seeing progression. It sucks because I really thought. Remember last season, we went to the game where he got a shutout against Columbus, and he said an awesome message post game. He's like, it's just the beginning, and I really believed it. And like, you have to have faith in these players that they're going to get better. They're still young, and especially with goalies, like goalies at the age of 23, 24 is still considered young in terms of development. But I don't want to put all the blame of this loss against the Bruins on Cayden Primeau. The first goal, he made a beautiful cross crease save, and then the defenseman couldn't help him out. The other two goals, it was just like, again, just fucking, like brain farts on defense too. But there's also a part of me that just can't help but think like, man, can you give us just that one save to bail us out, please? Just that one. Could it be maybe the Charlie McAvoy goal on the breakaway? And as much as Charlie McAvoy is excellent, like it's you versus him, and we get it. We said Mike Matheson, yeah, he fucked up, but like, can you maybe give us that save, please?
no,
I don't know.
let's
Like,
go a step further, Sam. Seriously, go a step further. Both Charlie McAvoy goals tonight. Like, go back, open up the highlights, and look at how out of position he was. He was completely like, again, I'm never gonna spare the opportunity to say miss Carey Price, took him for granted. Carey
fuck, did we
Price's
ever?
left
Oh my
leg would have
god.
been glued against that left post. If you look at Primeau's left leg on that first goal that McAvoy scored on the wraparound, it was like a foot and a half on the outside of the post, way
Okay.
out of position. Yeah, of course he didn't get across. He's not where he's supposed to be standing. It was either, you want to call it too aggressive, fine. You want to call it, just miscalculation, fine. But again, we had the most technically sound goalie I think whoever existed in the game of hockey. And now
Of
we're
our
watching a
generation,
guy
at
like
least.
Cayden Primeau, and it's painful to see because you're going, "What the hell are you doing? Like, where
Hmm.
are you? Where like you're not a overly acrobatic goalie." And I will say, we mentioned a name before that unfortunately want to throw shade at for this particular game. Cayden Primeau absolutely crucified us. And you talked about that one specific goal on the breakaway, the fourth goal that Boston scored. Like Montreal was coming back with some momentum. They had a half decent period. There was something to be shown.
Hmm.
And then Cayden Primeau, sorry to say, but crap goal. Even the goal, I'm not going to blame him for the Pasternak goal. That's coming a pass from
Yeah,
behind net,
yeah,
sniped up top. But
yeah.
the fourth, the first, the fourth, and the fifth goal were garbage. Were
Mm,
absolute garbage.
yeah. I him too, and again, it's not an excuse. This is my personal opinion. I just think confidence on him as well, like, has been low for so long now. It's not just one season, it's two, it's maybe even three. I don't know, man.
I don't think he's. We're dancing around it. I don't think Cayden Primo is going to look. Even right now, if we
Hmm.
had this debate
Hmm.
openly, and I would say this is a great fan question. If you were to ask who would you prefer having right now, I would prefer having Jakub Dobesh up here, backing
So,
up. And you know what? Let Primo go down. Let him dominate. Let the team
I
win and go into a long playoff run. But Cayden Primo, I'm sorry to say, I don't feel it. I
mm,
really don't feel like he's the guy who's going to get us in the mix.
here's what
Whenever he plays, it's like, okay, 3, 4, 5 goals against.
I'm gonna counter though, and I'm gonna say this about Jakub Dobeš. This is Cayden Primo's final year with the Canadiens. I don't see him getting traded at the deadline because I don't see Jakub Dobeš coming up this season, because I don't think it's a good idea for Jakub Dobeš to come up now in the current environment of this Canadiens team. And I'm not saying
Neither
that
do I.
the environment is bad, but he's in a winning environment with the Laval Rocket. Although their last two games they fucking choked the bed. They screwed the pooch in their last two games in the third period. They had good leads. They had 2-goal leads, and they fucking blew it. It's 2 games in a row now that they do that. So they got to, like, it's 2-3 games they do that. So they got to start fucking getting back into their winning ways. Having said all of that, this is something I'm gonna say. This is a message for Zook. I'm telling you now, Jakub Dobeš is going to be Sam Montembeault's backup as of next season. And I'll tell you even further why. Who was in attendance at TD Garden in Boston this afternoon, on Sunday afternoon? Which Montreal Canadiens prospect was in attendance? Please tell me you saw the
It
picture.
was Jacob Fowler.
Jacob Fowler is going to be a Montreal Canadian at the end of his not his NHL season, his NCAA season with Boston College. I don't think we're going to see him play a game with the Canadiens because I actually do believe he's going to go back to the Frozen Four final, and we won't see him. And the NHL season is going to be over. I don't think the Canadiens are going to make the playoffs. Okay, but he will sign a contract as soon as that ends. Jacob Fowler is going to be the number one goalie for the Laval Rocket next season. Jakub Dobeš is going to come up, and he's going to be Sam Montembeault's backup. Cayden Primeau, I'm sorry. Thanks for trying. It's just not working out. I'm sorry.
Sam, uh, I'm just gonna
That's
set my
that's
mic
that's
down, and
my
I'm gonna set my mic
that's
down
my
and clap
prediction.
here.
That's my prediction. That's just my
No,
prediction.
I'm completely on the same page as you. And now, like, I'll add just one more layer. I don't think anything is gonna change on that side, but I'm gonna make a bold prediction. When Fowler's ready to come up, Dobesh is still going to be the backup, and I think Sam Montembeault is going to have. There's going to be somewhat of an exit plan potentially for him. I know that's a very, very bold prediction.
Mm.
Jakub Dobesh might also be pushing to have more of a presence in the NHL. Who knows? That I'm not ready to say, but I am more for some strange reason, I'm more confident in seeing Jakub Dobeš stay within the organization for the long term, backing up Jacob Fowler as
Yeah,
compared to Sam Montembeault, and I don't know
probably.
why. I haven't been
It's
convinced by either Primo or Montembeault. None of them have shown, anything that really has me feeling overwhelmingly attached to them. Yeah, do I like them as human beings? Absolutely. Are they good
yeah,
teammates? Yeah, absolutely. Are they splitting the net fairly? Yeah, absolutely, for sure. But if I were to look at who our best prospects are in goal, I definitely like question of time. I think we've said this message over and over again. It's Jacob Fowler is, fingers crossed, something similar in terms of dominance to a Carey Price. And I also have a lot more confidence in Jakub Dobeš's capacity to develop as compared to Primo and
yeah.
Montembeault.
So both Jakub Dobeš and Cayden Primeau are going to be restricted free agents at the end of this season. And I just personally, I don't think they'll qualify Cayden Primeau. I'm sorry. I don't see it. I really, really don't. I don't even think teams will be willing to trade anything for
Right?
Primo. I still think a team will sign him to a very low term deal. Probably will get sent to the minors, and even though he'll have to clear waivers, he probably won't get picked up. And maybe he's gonna
Really?
pull off. And maybe he's gonna pull off a Charlie Lindgren. I don't know. I'm going with what I think might happen. This is
Even at that, Zach Fucale, Charlie Lindgren. I don't know what it is about Washington picking up our old
it's true.
goalie
Huh?
prospects, but
Maybe,
look,
or
I hope so for him, but I
I
think
do too.
the
I just
resounding
don't. Yeah,
message coming out of what you're saying and what I'm saying, we're on the same page. I don't think Cayden Primo is in the future plans of the
of the
Montreal
Montreal
Canadiens
Canadiens. Yeah,
organization.
exactly. Yeah,
And that's it.
exactly. Yeah. Um, a final segment I want to just have with you and to our listeners who are still with us now. The Boston Bruins, it was their centennial game, and good enough against the Montreal Canadiens. I don't know if you saw their little opening video that they did, as if like a drone is flying through all around the arena, and you hear different commentaries throughout the years of like Bob the famous Bobby Orr, like, and then as that's happening, like the footage is going around Bobby Orr standing in front of his statue. And they did that for like all like the greats. They did it for Ray Bork, Cam Neely, Johnny Busick, Willie O'Ree. Oh my God, Willie! Oh my goodness gracious, Willie O'Reilly. Okay, I don't even know if I got that right. Anyways, all that to say is they did it for all of the Boston like legends, and it ended with Marchand and Bergeron. I thought they did a pretty cool job. So I wanted to go back with like share like some of our favorite moments between like the Boston Bruins and Montreal Canadiens rivalry, as far back as you can go, and even up to like the latest memory that we have. So I think for me, like, I think our dads, like, they got to see the rivalry in the 70s and the 80s, the 90s, and all that.
Yep.
To me, I really got the first experience of it in 2002 when Koivu came back from cancer, just in time for the playoffs, and just the way they were able to beat the big bad Bruins when they had like Joe Thornton, Bill Garrett, PJ Axelson, Ryan Rolston. They had like big guys. I think they were the first. I don't know if they won the President's Trophy that season too, 2002. And I just remember Jose Theodore with like the
Oh,
fucking reverse
on
blocker
Gary?
save he did. Yeah. And like just
Yeah.
Koivu scored that goal for them to come back, and like just that series, like that was the first taste I got of the Montreal Boston rivalry. And with Kyle McLaren fucking clothesline
Exactly.
Richard Zednick, and that like Michel Terrien back in the day when we liked it was like, you yelled at the coach, "You're fucking going down!" Like that to me was my very first like living experience of the Montreal Boston rivalry.
I I think Game 7, what was it, in 2008, when
Hmm.
Montreal absolutely destroyed Boston 5-0. That was a top tier memory.
Yeah,
And
Carey
we
Price
had, I
shutout.
mean,
Yeah.
not proud of this, but we started lighting the city kind of rioted. Well,
Oh yeah, that
and
was.
actually that's a great opportunity to specify. I know we're talking about moments, but Montreal gets three shade thrown at them because they say, "Oh, the fans go nuts." No, no, those are stupid people taking advantage of
Yeah, those are
a
fucking
large
hooligans.
crowds to do
Yeah,
stupid things. Those are
exactly.
not hockey fans. So,
No,
anyways,
exactly.
side note said that the 5-0 blowout in Game 7 that they destroyed Boston to advance, that was one major one. I'm gonna say our own centennial. From time to time, when I have a
Mm,
moment, I'll actually go onto YouTube and I'll watch the centennial warm up, just the
yeah,
warm up,
it was
like
just unreal.
like I'm just saying Boston has one hell of a good bit of history, but
Hmm. Nothing
there's
compares.
absolutely
Nothing
nobody that comes
compares.
close to touching our history. And just that warm up in that game, they destroyed Boston 5-1. At one point today, I thought that it was going to be the reverse, where Boston was going to
Yeah,
win 5-1.
we thought McAvoy was gonna get a hat trick, just like Camilleri did.
Yep. Yeah. No, that like those Kovalev. How many memories you mentioned? Koivu. I'm going to say Kovalev,
Yeah, the
the helmetless goal, picking up
Oh
his glove
yeah,
against
yeah,
Chara when he dropped it behind the net and he's still
yeah,
maneuvering around.
yeah,
You have the spinorama goal against Tim Thomas. It wasn't the
yeah.
most beautiful goal, but like
Yeah, it
Kovalev
was
just
still.
has
Yeah,
some.
he had
There
some.
was magic. Like there was something
But
magical
yeah, if you
about there.
remember
Like,
the power play in overtime where he, I don't know if it was a power play, but
oh,
he
the
was along the
slap
left
shot.
boards and he just
The
fucking ripped
Oh
it. That
my god,
even
yeah.
even even Bob Cole fucking lost his shit. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there were like Kovalev. There was something special from that guy every time he played against the Bruins. Like really special whenever he played the
Hmm.
Bruins, and that to me, like those are lasting memories that I'm gonna have for a while. Obviously, Camilleri, really, that hat trick, the
Hey.
Centennial Night, that was magic. The 2008
Yeah.
blowout. When remember when Montreal came back, there was the infamous Dale
Oh my
Weiss.
God! Yeah,
Oh, what a
yeah,
playoff series! The
yeah.
PK
Lucic
Subban
versus Dale
breakaway
Weiss. That
goal.
was a good one. And he he shook the hands of Alexi Emily. He's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you."
Yeah,
I've got to
well,
mention. I will mention somebody. PK Subban when he demolished Brad Marchand. That ba- but that the PK Subban out of the box goal, I think, like that was, and it's the same series, right? It was the same series where the chest pounding Celine Dion, "My Heart Will Go On" style.
yeah.
PK
There's
Subban
one.
out of the box.
There's one more. Even though they got the better of us, I
Mm.
never ever remember being that amped up with the game when Tim Thomas and Carey Price fought. That game was just, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah,
Montreal
yeah.
got
That
absolute,
was
but that game, I remember my friend
what
David,
is this
like,
like?
I'm calling him, I'm like, this was
Tom
crazy.
Pyatt and Spacek just got the
Uh,
fucking whipping out of
Yeah,
them.
Gregory
But yeah, I
Campbell
remember
beat
that.
on
Yeah,
Spacek, and it was Johnny Boychuk wailing away on.
Tom Pyatt.
Sorry,
Tom
it
Pyatt.
was Tom Pyatt who
Who's
was getting beaten by Gregory Campbell, and it was Johnny Boychuk who was destroying Spacek. Like both guys
yeah.
are not fighters, and that fucking 2011 Bruins lineup,
Uh
like
yeah.
we should have
It was
eliminated
so
those pieces of
close.
shit. We really
They
should. Sorry,
they said
I hate that. I hated that team.
the
I
Bruins
hated that
said
fucking team.
the Montreal Canadiens during that playoff run was our most challenging opponent.
Well, fuck,
The
it was game
Bruins, the
7
Bruins.
overtime and
Oh my
deflected off
God,
of Jeff
I know.
Halpern. I mean, it could have gone either way. You had
Yeah,
Michael
yeah, I
Greider
know.
making an overtime glove
Oh,
save by mere,
and
like,
yeah, but it was a Thomas Plekanec shot, and I love Thomas, but for fuck's sakes, the guy, man, talk about just shooting on the player's body. Yeah, 2000 and 2009 was terrible. We just got swept.
oh
They
yeah,
got swept by the Bruins. It's just like that was not a good. That was the end of the like Kovalev Koivu era, and we thought Alex Tanguay was going to make a difference. It's just like that was even like Bob Gain was like, yeah, guys, I'm actually no, he didn't say I was done because he just completely changed the fucking face of the team. But yeah, I hope like I find the rivalry has died down a little bit, but it'll always be there still. It's weird to say. And I think it just takes another Montreal Boston playoff series to kind of like bring it back to life, because it's been a while since we saw it. And we got the beautiful taste of like a Montreal Toronto series during the COVID year, that we all know how that ended. But like, we need another Montreal Boston playoff series, and I think we need our team to get better, for starters. and then,
Can I say?
and then
Can I
yeah.
say what I'm? I'm not worried about the rivalry, but we're just waiting for the next little spark. And the crazy
Yeah.
part is, I feel as though this rivalry is going to die down even more when there's no more Brad Marchand. Like when Brad Marchand is gone, like that's a significant. That's a guy who drags that fight into the
Yeah.
game. And same for Brendan Gallagher. When those two
Hmm.
feisty guys are no longer part of this rivalry, I think it's going to take. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably going to be like an Arbor Jackeye beatdown of a Boston
Versus
player.
somebody. Yeah.
Boston doesn't tolerate getting beat down like
No.
we do, and that's going to drive them freaking nuts. That's going to be like when the Rangers brought in Ryan Reeves after Tom Wilson absolutely
Oh,
destroyed
went after
Panarin.
Panarin. Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So that's what I
That could
think
be.
I'm
Yeah, it
waiting
could be.
for.
Yeah. Uh, Willie O'Ree. There you go. I had it before. I don't know why I said O'Reilly. Willie O'Ree. Yeah.
I didn't want to correct you. I just wanted.
No, you should have. Don't leave me hanging there. I'm like, Willie. No, it's not O'Reilly. Like, why am I thinking it was Willie O'Ree? Anyways, yeah. Um, yeah, no, for sure. It's that I totally agree with you. And it's crazy how there's a lot of Bruins fans in Montreal because of like their love for Bobby Orr, and then even Ray Bork. Ray Bork was one of my favorite defensemen growing up as a kid, by the way. So, but then when he won the cup with the Colorado Avalanche, beautiful. I wonder. Actually, no. What I was about to say is not true. I'm sure Bruins fans were nothing more than absolutely happy for him, like, for sure.
Oh,
I think
I
they
think
were.
I
They
was
were.
watching a documentary. Like they bought or they paid for the front page of the newspaper to
Hmm.
celebrate, to
Yeah,
congratulate
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Like
So that's
they
good.
they
Yeah.
were
So there you go.
all class with Raymond Bourque.
Yeah. So that's man. It's one of those things where it's like, these last two games, there is some positives out of all of these negatives, but it's a matter of putting them into play and being consistent. And if they play with confidence, this team can compete with anybody, man. It just takes right now. I'm telling you, it takes two guys that have to wake up. Uri Slavkovsky, which he's gotten better recently. He's gotten better, like after his what was it? His 2 points against Columbus, and he got another point against Rangers. But him and Kirby Dach, man, if those two wake up, maybe the whole team is going to wake up as well. And I don't want to put all this pressure on Patrick Laine, but once he comes back, I still believe he could light some kind of spark. And hopefully, to those two guys, I want to see that line together that you mentioned earlier, Chris. I really think if that line works and you have a line of Cole, Suzuki, hey, Newhook, if you have to keep him there, keep him there. Jake Evans and who was it? Evans, Gallagher, Anderson is doing well. Emil Heineman, can we
I
give
was just about to say, oh man, you took the words out of my mouth. I was
go?
just
But we got to
to
give him
interrupt you.
credit. We got to give him
I
credit,
would
man.
freaking love to see, and although Newhook doesn't deserve to be removed off of the first line, I hope at a given moment in time, Marty might actually give a look to Heineman on that first line with Suzuki and Caulfield. And that
Oh,
sounds ridiculous, but the guy has been an absolute workhorse. His
yeah,
shot
is amazing.
accuracy has been a little bit off, but he's got a wicked shot
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
He's a good skater. He finishes his checks. He could be a very good complement that could open up some space for
yeah.
both Cole
He's
and Nick. So
he's deserving of a seat right now, like Marty says. He deserves a seat right now with this team.
oh yeah.
That's it. Joshua Roy still with the team. Raphael Harvey Pinard clears waivers to continue his conditioning stint with the Laval Rockets. And Laval Rocket play on Wednesday. The Canadiens Tuesday against Patrick Roy and the New York Islanders. Not exactly the fastest team, but the Canadiens, they got to fucking bring it. And they got to bring it from the beginning. And keep it consistent. That's all I got.
I think the next game, just to add to that, I think the next game is going to be hugely important. Like 2
Yeah.
losses in a row. They really.
No, they have to.
It's not even a
No.
question of who they're playing, what team they're playing. Doesn't matter. Like next game is a wake up or else.
I think it's a must win in front of the Bell Center crowd. I'm gonna go ahead and say like they have to win. They have to win Tuesday just to keep some kind of confidence going. And that's it.
That's
Coolio.
all.
That's it. That's all. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in on this other episode. It's another episode of the Curfew Boys. Myself, Sammy, with my cousin Chris. Once again, please like and subscribe to our channel. It's absolutely free. Tell your friends about us. And let's just keep rooting the boys. Let's stand behind Kirby Dach and the boys, man. They need our support like always. You can hear all of our episodes on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Stay active with us on either Instagram or Twitter. Come join some conversations that we have. Comment on this episode too. No matter what you hear, agree or disagree, let's have a conversation. We still got a couple months left to go. Already 2 months down, and 1, 2, 3, 4 more to go. We'll know for the Four Nations team. They have to submit their list on Monday. We'll find out if Cole Caulfield makes Team Canada. We'll find out if Nick Suzuki and
Caulfield makes.
What did I say? Sorry, Team USA. I told you I'm fucking tired. You can see it in my eyes. We'll find out if Nick Suzuki and Sam Montembeault make Team Canada. Who else is there? Does Heineman make Team Finland? I don't know. Or is he Swedish? I forgot. No, I think he's Finnish. Does Armia make Team Finland? We'll see. Chris, appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for doing this with me on a Sunday evening, and have a good rest of the week. Enjoy the game Tuesday. We'll try to come back with another episode, hopefully a live post-game show with Chris and the rest of the gang. Until then, bye now. Good night.